Assalamualaikum and good morning. And today I will answering the question number 1. So the question number 1 wants me to create a simple calculator and will prompt an even round number and limit it between 10 to 30, and will just limit it to plus and minus only. And for the second input value, same as number 1, and then it must use switch statement for the operation, and it will display the result for the operation, and then it will prompt the user if the user want to do another calculation, and we must include the error control. So if user input such as wrong input, and it will show the wrong input, please insert a proper input, and then the output example must be something like this. And now I will explain the flowchart for the question number 1. So first the program will start, and then will declare the variable such as the operation, option, character y and n, number 1 and number 2, and then we will prompt the user for the operation that you want to use, and then we'll prompt number 1 and number 2 for the calculation, and then it will follow this particular decision. Such first the num1 must be equal to and more than 10 and less than and equal to 30. Same goes for number 2. So number 2 also must equal and more than 10 and equal to and less than 30. And then both of them must be divisible by 2, which means that both of them must be even number. So if this condition is true, then if the user enter operation plus, it will go to the num1 plus num2 operation, and it will display the result. If it false, it will go to operation -1 minus, then it will go to subtraction operation, and it will display the result. So if not true, it will display wrong input, and please insert a proper input. So same goes to this. If none of this condition is true, it will go to display wrong input, please insert a proper input. So after display the result, and after if it display the wrong input, it will prompt the user option whether you want to continue to make a new calculation or just end the program. If it y, so then it will prompt the operation for a new calculation, and it will repeat the whole process again. And if it falls, then it will just end the program. Now for the last part, the program itself. So first we declare a variable such as character, operation and option y and n, and then integer. We'll use integer for this because will be from the user whole number and even number, num1 and num2, and then we'll use while do loop. This is while do loop, and then first we'll prompt the user enter the operator plus or minus sign oper, and then we'll inform the user saying that this calculator only accept even number and number between 10 to 30, and then we'll prompt the user for the first number num1, and then we'll prompt the user to second number num2, and then both num1 and num2 must follow this condition, which is the number 1 must be equal to and more than 10 and less than and equal to 30. Num2 also must be more than 10 and equal to 10. Num2 less than 30 and equal to 30. And then both of them must be even number, which is both of them must be divisible by 2 equal to 0. And then if this case is not true, it will just display the wrong input. Please answer a proper input. Next, if it's true, then it will go to the switch statement. So if the operation here is input is plus sign, then it will show this. You have insert num1 and num2, and then it will go for the num1 plus num2 operation, addition operation. And then if user enter the minus sign, then the operation will be num1 minus num2 and will show the result of the subtraction. So if the user enter other than plus and minus, it will be the same. It will show the wrong input. Please insert a proper input. So next, after it will show the result, it will go to this particular statement, which is it will ask the user, do you want to calculate again? Y for yes and N for no, and it will prompt the user the option. So if the user enter Y, then the whole program will repeat itself. If not, then it will just close the program. So we'll try the program. So first we use the plus, and then we'll add 12 for the first number, and then maybe 24. Okay, that's it, the 36. And then let's do second calculation, just minus. Okay, first 24, maybe the second number is 10, so that's it, 14. So if you want to quit the program, just press N. Okay, so what about the wrong input? So we'll try the wrong input. So first we'll just put the multiply input, and then we'll enter the even number input and between 10 to 30 number. So this is it. So the first and second number is true according to this particular decision, and then because of the sign is multiplied, then it will show the wrong input. Please insert proper input. So next is what about, so if we go plus, then this right operation, but if we put the number that is odd number, then it will show the wrong input. Please insert proper input. So next is if we put still the right operator, but number is less than 8, less than 10, which is 8, and then the second number is more than 30, which is 32. Both of them are even number, but they are not in the range between 10 to 30. So it still will show the wrong input. Please insert a proper input. So we'll quit the program, just enter the N, and then that's it. And that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Hi, so I will present for question number 2. Question number 2 wants us to make a program which find the frequency of each digit in a given integer by the user. The example is the user put 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the input, which is an integer, a positive integer. So the program will calculate for each frequency of each digit in that particular integer. So it will give us the frequency of number from 0 to 9. So for the flowchart of this question, we start with initializing the integer, which is equal to 0, and then we get the input from the user. So the integer must be in the condition of less than 10, since the digit is only between 0 until 9. We don't have a digit which is 10, 11, and 12. So we initialize the f, which is the frequency as 0, and j, we ensure that it is same as the user. We don't want to make it confused, so we replace it with j. So j must be more than 0 in order to calculate the frequency of the digit that we want to see. That was the input of the user. So by using this way, we can find the R. R is the remainder of this, which is the remainder if is the digit that is in the integer that was input by the user. So R will give the remainder, and we check either the remainder is equal to the integer or not. If it's yes, it will include the frequency plus 1. If it's no, if only will display 0 as the frequency of the particular integer. And then we divide it by 10 since we want to look at the integer before the last integer, such as 5049. After we check 9 as the remainder, so we want to check the 4, which is the second last. The second last can be taken by the integer that was input divide by 10. Since it divide by 10, so we remain the answer will give us 504.9. Since it's integer divide by integer, so it will give us 504 only. So then we can repeat the program, start here, and then we repeat the same method where we can see the 4, either the 4 is equal to the integer from this initialize or not. So if we already check until 9, so at the 10th integer, it will show us no, so the program will end. So for the last part of this question, we will look at the coding of this. Firstly, we have to know that this program have two kinds of loop, which is the inner loop and the outer loop. The outer loop is to show the frequency, means that to display the output of it. Because the question wants us to display the frequency of each digit from 0 until 9. So the outer loop will display it. Meanwhile, the inner loop will do the calculation. It will count how many frequency for each digit for the input from the user itself. So, for example, we'll put 5049. Means that the number is 5049 and the I is 0 since we initialized it already. So J will be same with num, which is 5049 also. And this particular part, we will make it as 5049 modulo with 10. So it will give us the remainder of 9. Since 9 is not equal to 0, which is I, so we will not add the frequency, which is initialized as 0 first. So the frequency of 0 at this part is 0. But we don't show it yet. We repeat in the inner loop first. So after that, we will divide it first. 50 divide by 10. When we divide by 10, we will get 504. So we will look at the second particular number, which is 4. So 504 is more than 0. So we will divide it. 504 modulo by 10. So we got 4, where 4 is not equal to 0. So still repeat this. After this, we divide 504 by 10, so we got 50. After that, 50 we divide by modulo by 10 again. Sorry. So we will get 0. And R is same as I, which is 0. So the frequency will plus 1. So the frequency will be 1. And this repeat until the last digit number from the back. Means that we start from the back. So the first front number will be the last that we calculate. So this will repeat until the integer of 9. When it hit 10 digit number, it will end the and the calculation and display the output of it. So for my input is 234579. So the frequency for 2 is 1, the 3 is 1, the 4 is 1, 5 is 1, 7 is 1, and 9 is 1. So for the rest of other digit, we show 0 since there's no frequency for it. That's all from me.
Hi and a very good day. I will be presenting question 3, and this is basically how the problem was. I have been representing the question. So the question asks us to display the forested area in each year for 20 years, and that basically means that we need to display each year for each year, not just after 20 years, but also but it means that we need to display at the how many forested area is in on the first year, and how many forested area in second year, how many forested area in the third year in a table. And the question given, reforestation rate is at 0.02, or also means that it is 2%, and the total area given of the forest is 14,000 acres, and the total uncut area is 2,500 acres. So this is how the question looks like, but in practically. So starting off with the 2,500 acres, this is on the first year, and after applied the 0.02 reforestation rate, this is on year 2, and um, and the numbers keep on going until the year is at 20. So the question asks us to display how many areas is it for each of this year. So to start off, I will show you the flowchart for this program. So first, as usual, start the program, and then we assign the variable year as integer and uncut, and A forested for double. A forested means the area that have been forested. And next, we initialize the value year to 0 and uncut to 2,500 as the question asks us to do. And then this is where the decision making comes. As long as the year haven't reached 20, the statement will keeps on being true, because the statement is year is less than 20. So as long as the statement is true, the program will keep on displaying this output, which is area forested is calculated as the uncut times with 0.02, which is the reforestation rate, and plus with the uncut. And uncut, we equalize it to area forested because we want to display it underneath here. So as long as the year haven't reached 20, this loop will keeps on repeating until the statement become false, which is it is 20 or 21 or 22. So this program will stop when the count or when the year have turned 20. So after the statement will become false, the program will end, and yeah, the program will end. So this is the coding that I've been using. We have using the while loop to display to make the loop, and then yeah, this is the output display that I've screenshot from my program that I've been making. So as you can see, each years have been displayed, and the total number of acres forested also been displayed, and in a table form. Okay, so the question, so the solution basically has answered the question, which is to print a table. That is the first. And the showing numbers of acres forested at the end of each year for a total of 20 years. And yeah, that's basically answered the question. And I hope my explanation is clear. And that's all from me, I think. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will discussing question 4 from our assignment 1. So, this question asks us to design a program that calculates how many money we will end up with if we invest an amount of money at fixed interest rate, compounded yearly. So, from this statement here, we will notice that there is three things we need to keep up with. There is our three inputs. There is first our amount of money, and then the number of years, and the interest rate, that is percent per year. And then our output is how many money we will end up. So, using this question, now we will move to its flowchart. So, this is our flowchart. First, we start and then we initialize our I that is equals to 1. This I will act as a counter. And then we prompt for the amount of money they want to invest, the number of years, and the interest rate. So, our interest rate is in number, but it's not in is in percentage, but it's not in number values yet. That is, it must be in decimal value. So, interest is equal to interest divided by 100 to make it into decimal places, and then I is equals to I is less than or equals to years. So our counter here must be less than or equals to years. Our counter here is initialized as 1, and then 1 is less than years. As example, the years is 2, and then 1 is less than 2. So we will it is considered as true, and then it will move to the next step, that is money equals to money plus money times interest. So this is our calculation for how the interest works and the money. So this is the sum for the first year, sum of money invested for the first year, and then I plus plus. So our counter first is I equals to 1, and then I plus plus I equals to 2. So I equals to 2. 2 is less than or equals to 2. So it is still considered true. So then we will repeat this step again, and then the counter will change the I into 3. So 3 is less than or equals to yes, and then it is false. So it will take another path, that is this path, and then it will display how many money he or she will get in the end of the year. So now we will move to the programming of this flowchart. So this is the programming for our question. First, we initialize the years as integer because the years cannot be in float, and then the interest and money must be in float because both of them have decimal places. If the user want to, and then we initialize I equals to 1. So first we prompt and get the amount of money at the years and the interest rate. So the amount of money, we will store that in the money variable. The years we will store in the years variable, and the interest we will store in interest variable. So then we will move to the formula. So the first formula before we get into the loop is, first we must change the interest from percent to the decimal place. So interest is equal to interest divided by 100. So at loop here, we will using the while loop. So while I is less than or equals to year, it will repeat money equals to money plus money times interest and I plus plus. So while I is less than or equals to year, it will repeat both of this statement because both of this statement is in this curly bracket. So it will repeat both of this statement until the statement is false, and then see out at the end of the years you will have RM how many ringgit. So now we will compile and run this program to see if this program works. So we'll be using the value that the question has given us. Enter the amount of money that we want to invest, that is 3,000 ringgit. The number of years is 10. The interest rate per year is 5.5. This is 5.5%. It is not converted into decimal yet. And then at the end of 10 years, you will have how many? So this value is same as this value. Now we will look back. So this, so the enter amount of money you want to invest. So this correspond to the first line of our cout, that is to get the value of money, and it will store it. And then for the years and interest rate also the same. So when the calculation, since the interest is 5.5%, so our interest will be divided by 100, so it will be 0.055. So while our I first here is 1, while 1 is less than or equals to years, our year here is 10. So it will repeat this calculation until our I here is 11. Since 11 is more than years, that is our years is 10, it will consider as false, and then it will see out at the end of years you will have RM how many ringgit. So this is the program. This is the final value. So that is all from me, and thank you.